There is a strange detail about Christmas that most people rush past. God did not enter the world through power. He entered through permission. Not a throne, not a palace. A door. A human yes. Mary's life did not look ready. The timing was inconvenient, the future uncertain, the cost painfully real. And yet that is the door God chose. Christmas is not the story of perfection meeting perfection. It is the story of holiness stepping into human limitation without flinching. That matters more than we realize. Because most of us think God waits until we are ready, until we are stronger, until we are cleaner, braver, more certain. But Christmas tells a different truth. God moves toward availability, not polish. A stable instead of a sanctuary. A feeding trough instead of a throne. A quiet night instead of a public announcement. Not because he had no other option, but because he wanted to show us how he works. He enters through what we offer, not what we impress him with. Look at the world that night. Rome was loud with power. Jerusalem was busy with religion. Bethlehem was overlooked. And that is where heaven touched earth. Christmas is proof that God does not chase noise. He chooses openness. If this year left you feeling unprepared, uncertain, or small, this is not disqualifying. It is familiar territory to God. You may feel like your life is a stable right now, messy, unfinished, crowded with things you never planned. But stables are not rejected places. They are places where God feels welcome. Jesus was not born where conditions were ideal. He was born where hearts made room. That is the miracle. Not that God came, but that he stayed. Stayed small long enough to be held. Stayed quiet long enough to be ignored. Stayed human long enough to suffer. Love does not rush the process, and neither does God. Christmas tells us that salvation did not arrive as force. It arrived as presence. A baby does not conquer by strength. A baby changes everything by staying. And that is how faith grows too. Not through grand declarations, but through daily permission. Letting God enter your fear. Letting him sit in your doubt. Letting him remain when answers are slow. Most people want God to remove the stable. Christmas shows us he enters it. If you are tired of pretending you have it together, Christmas is for you. If you are wrestling with faith instead of performing it, Christmas is for you. If you are afraid that your life is too ordinary to carry divine purpose, Christmas was written for you. Because God did not wait for humanity to rise. He chose to descend. That is not weakness. That is commitment. The manger teaches us something radical. God is not intimidated by our limits. He works through them. Mary did not understand the full story. Joseph did not control the outcome. The shepherds were not qualified. The wise men arrived late. And still, God moved. Not one person in the Christmas story had full clarity. They had trust. And trust is the door. You may be standing at the end of this year with unanswered prayers, wondering why God hasn't moved the way you expected. Christmas reminds us that God keeps His promises, but rarely in the way we predict. The Messiah did not arrive as a solution to Rome. He arrived as a solution to the human heart. Quietly, patiently, irrevocably. So, if God feels silent right now, do not assume absence. The loudest work He ever did began in silence, and it changed eternity. You do not need to build God a palace. You only need to make room. Room in your fear. Room in your waiting. Room in your unfinished faith. Christmas is not about God demanding entry. It is about Him accepting invitation. Even now, especially now, let Him in.